And we continue with Jack the Giant Killer by Richard Doyle. The news of Jack's exploits soon spread over the western part of England, and another giant, called Blunderbore, vowed to have his revenge on Jack, if it should ever be his fortune to get him into his power. This giant kept an enchanted castle in the midst of a lonely wood. About 4 months after the death of Cormoran, as Jack was taking a journey into Wales, he passed through this wood, and as he was weary, he sat down to rest beside a pleasant fountain. And there he fell into a deep sleep. The giant came to the fountain for water just at this time and found Jack there. And as the lines on Jack's belt showed who he was, the giant lifted him up and laid him gently upon his shoulder to carry him to his castle. But as he passed through the thicket, the rustling of the leaves woke Jack, and he was sadly afraid when he found himself in the clutches of Blunderbore. Yet this was nothing to his fright soon after, for when they reached the castle, he beheld the floor covered all over with the skulls and bones of men and women. The giant took him into a large room where lay the remains of persons who had been lately killed, and he told Jack with a horrid grin that men's hearts eaten with pepper and vinegar were his nicest food, and also gratified him with the intelligence that he intended making a most savory meal of his heart. When he had refreshed Jack in this delightful though novel manner, he locked him into the room while he went to fetch another giant who lived in the same wood to enjoy a dinner off Jack's flesh with him. While he was away, Jack heard dreadful screams and groans and cries from many parts of the castle, and soon after he heard a mournful voice repeat the following lines: "Haste, valiant stranger, haste away, lest you become the giant's prey. On his return he'll bring another, more savage than his brother. A horrid, cruel monster who, before he kills, will torture you. O valiant stranger, haste away, or you'll become the giant's prey." The warning gave poor Jack such a shock that he was ready to go mad. He ran to the window, and terrible to relate, there were 2 giants coming along arm in arm. This window was right over the gates of the castle. Now, thought Jack, either my freedom or death is at hand. There just happened to be 2 strong cords in the room. Jack made a large noose with a slip knot at the ends of both of these, and as the giants were coming through the gates, he threw the ropes over their heads, and then he made the other ends fast to a beam in the ceiling, and pulled with all his might till he had almost strangled them. When he saw that they were both quite black in the face, he drew his sword and slid down the ropes. He then killed the giants, and so saved himself from the cruel death they meant to put him to. Jack next took a great bunch of keys from the pocket of Blunderbore and went into the castle again. He made a strict search through all the rooms, and in one of them found 3 ladies tied up by the hair of their heads and almost starved to death. They told him that their husbands had been killed off by the giants, who had then condemned them to be starved because they would not eat the flesh of their dead husbands. "Ladies," said Jack, "I'll put an end to the monster and his wicked brother, and I give you this castle and all the riches it contains to make amends for the dreadful pains you have felt." And he very politely gave them the keys to the castle and went further on his journey to Wales. And we'll pause there.